Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Performing Arts and Creative Media Production Live Q&A at our Melton campus virtual open day. We hope you've enjoyed the event so far. I've got some of our Performing Arts and Creative Media lecturers with me here today. So please do ask any questions that you've got in the live Q&A, in the Q&A box, and we'll get round to them all for you this morning. So I'm going to hand you over to Peter, who will introduce himself, and then the rest of the team will also introduce themselves too.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Peter Groves and I'm the course tutor for acting.
Good morning, I'm Kat Webb and I'm course tutor for dance.
Good morning everybody. My name is Rachel and I'm the course tutor. Hi, my name's Rachel and I'm the course tutor for musical theatre.
Hi there, my name's Jade and I teach dance across sort of level 3 programmes and the degree.
Hey there, I'm Steve and I am the tutor for the level 3 creative media production and technology course.
Lovely, thank you everyone. Just while we wait for some questions to come in, maybe we can just talk a little bit about the courses, so what's involved, and kind of what kind of things you cover. Steve, do you want to kick it off for creative media since you're live already?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the course, we kind of cover a range of different aspects. Just to give you an overview of the kind of first and second years. First year we introduce you by going through kind of how to research, design and set up a project, and also kind of basic technical skills. We go through how to use the manual controls of a camera, basic audio skills, basic lighting skills. In the first year you work on a range of different projects. You'll do a music video, you'll also do sound design, as well as also working on an interactive project, which we get you to do a trailer and put it onto kind of your own website, so making your own kind of online portfolio website for your work. And then the second year you move on to do short film. You also do Unit 11, which is basically kind of like a show reel, so kind of getting ready for industry, practicing interview technique, things like that. And we also work on a TV advert. We work on a kind of specialist film, and then you do the end of year project. So it's nice and varied. You get to work on a range of different things.
Lovely, thank you. Before we talk any more about the performing arts courses, we've actually had some questions. So someone's asked, is level 3 creative media an A level or a BTEC?
Yeah, so thank you for your question, George. It's not an A level or a BTEC, it's a UAL level 3. It's more similar to the BTEC than the A level courses. It's the same in that when you finish your 2 years, you receive either a pass, merit or distinction. It gives you a certain amount of UCAS points, and you can still either choose to go into work, apprenticeships or university. Universities still accept either UAL level 3 courses like we deliver, or BTEC level 3 courses, as well as A levels. So yeah, it's a UAL course. It's delivered by University of Arts London, which is why it's UAL.
Lovely, thank you. And just to build on that, someone's asked what days will they be in college? I suppose that varies depending on what year they're.
Yeah, so it's 3 full days this year. That might obviously vary depending on the days, or it might be kind of potentially even spread out across 4 days, but with more gaps. So yeah, it'll be 3 or 4 days at college.
Lovely, thank you. We've actually had some questions about acting. So someone has asked, what is the audition process like?
So with the audition process for acting is what normally happens is you come into college and you do an audition speech, which we send you in the post. There's a workshop involved, and there's also then an interview, usually with me. But at the moment, because of COVID-19, we're doing a very similar process, but online. So until that changes, the current process is that you send a recording of your audition speech for us to look at, and then you have a telephone interview with me. So it's very similar, but it's obviously done remotely because of the current circumstances.
Lovely, thank you, Peter. Just while you're live, we've got another acting question.
Okay,
someone's
good.
asked what topics you cover.
Okay, well, we try to cover lots of topics. So once the students completed their 2 years, they're really confident in lots of different types of performance. It's quite a long list, so I'll try and go through it, not spend up too much time on it. But we look at naturalism and realism at the beginning of the course to ground people in the course skills, with a focus on Stanislavski. We look at contemporary theatre, we look at physical theatre. We also look at practitioners that people out there will be familiar with, such as Arto, Brecht, Burkhoff. Something that we do here, which not everyone does, is we do screen acting as well, because that's obviously an important skill in the industry. So all the students will look at how to act for the camera. We do devising site-specific theatre, and in the second year, there's a large public pantomime, which the schools come and see. We look at Shakespeare, and then there's a final major performance at the end of the course. So that, I mean, that doesn't even cover everything, but we cover a lot, basically, of skills.
Lovely, thank you very much. We've had lots of different questions coming in. Bear with me 1 second. So someone's asked, what would I study in the music course? But I think that's referring to musical theatre. So Rachel, would you like to talk a bit about the musical theatre course?
Yeah, hi there, thank you for your question. Okay, so it's very varied on the musical theatre course. Obviously, we try and emphasise the triple threat. So we have an equal share in acting, dance and musical theatre / singing. In terms of the singing, we look a lot into vocal technique, how to use your voice correctly, warm it up correctly, and obviously that has a direct impact on your acting work as well. We also concentrate on developing your core fitness, which obviously is really important for being a musical theatre performer. You'll be looking at, we tend to look at physical theatre and naturalism within the acting section of the course. In dance, we look at ballet, tap, contemporary and jazz dance for musical theatre, all gearing up to fantastic performances, either studio-based or in the theatre. But it is really important to know that it is across all 3 areas. So throughout the year, the units are all geared up towards a performance. Obviously not public at the moment, but that's what would normally be happening in the theatre. We also do, as Pete's already said, we do a full-scale panto in the theatre every year, which always goes down really, really well. And we also have 2 full-scale musicals, one at the end of your first year and one at the end of your second year. Hope that helps.
Lovely, thank you. Right, so someone's asked a similar question to earlier. What's the audition process for level 3 dance? So Jade or Kat?
Jade, you go if you want.
You go. Oh, okay. So yeah, again, what with the COVID situation at the moment, it is a little bit more difficult for us to do sort of live auditions. So I think your course tutor will call you for a phone interview and just talk through your experiences and sort of allow you to share your experiences and where you are at the moment before we do some sort of video or sort of online class so you can show us your skills. But all that will be explained with a letter after the initial application form.
Lovely, thank you very much. So let's look. Grace has asked what will the audition process be for the musical theatre course, but it is very similar, isn't it? So Rachel, I don't know if you want to just talk about it briefly.
Yeah, so very briefly, for the musical theatre course at the moment, what we ask you to do is we send out, as Jay said, the audition pack, and then there'll be a monologue for you to learn and perform online. And in addition to that, we ask you to sing a musical theatre song, and obviously you send that in online as well.
Lovely, thank you very much. Let's have a look. Someone has asked how many different teachers will they have for creative media production? Will they have like one person all the way through, or is it various different teachers?
Okay, so that'll be for me. So yeah, it is just the one lecturer itself that delivers on the level 3 media course, but I'll go through different units with you. My background is actually audio and advertising, but I've delivered on a range of film and TV courses during my time both in teaching and working in industry. I've done a range of audio stuff for music video and for film. So yeah, it'll just be the one lecturer, it'll just be myself. Also, just to clarify my last point, I know I mentioned about it being a UAL level 3 course. The course itself is equal to 3 A levels. So rather than doing 3 different subjects, you're just doing your whole course based around media production and technology. But it's the same as doing 3 different A levels at another college.
Lovely. Yeah.
Maybe it's worth adding there. Sorry, Megan. I just thought it might be worth adding that the media lecturers, the media students also can work in with the acting students on projects. So they might have some, might work with me briefly in terms of that sort of joint project.
Could I just add, I think what's really nice about BMC is the collaborative effect that we have. So whether you're a dance student, an acting student, musical theatre, media, we tend to work quite collaboratively, and it's really good to kind of mix up. So the media students will create films for us, which gives them projects, and it gives the dancers things to work on. And like Peter was saying, then the actors can provide performers for the media students. And similarly, with the actors and the dancers and the musical theatre students, as much as we possibly can, we like to collaborate, whether that's through the pantomime and through performances, and support each other. So although we are split into distinct areas, we're also just one big kind of department as well. So it's kind of nice to kind of work with everyone.
Lovely, thank you. So while you're here, Kat, we've got a question about dance. What time does the college day start and finish? And what sort of days are they in college throughout the week?
Okay, so it is 3 to 4 days timetable time. And normally the dance students are really busy. We're getting them in for lots of rehearsals. So you'll often see our students coming in on days when they're not supposed to be in, using the library, using the facilities, and when we're near productions as well, you come in more for rehearsals. We also run our Fly project, which happens normally on another day as well. So if you want to commit to that and do some enrichment activities, you can come in for more then. We always start at 9:30 for all the courses, and we finish at 4:30. So that's kind of your day. But like with performances, sometimes you're there on longer days, you'll stay through for a performance in the evening. And as we've mentioned already, things are a little bit different at the moment. But fingers crossed we'll be able to do our performances and our additional rehearsals and working in the theatre a bit more very soon.
Lovely, thank you for that. Let's have a look what else we've got. We've got a couple of creative media questions actually. So Steve, will someone's asked, will they be accepted for creative media if they only have 4 GCSEs as they're studying level 2 course to get maths and English? So I think that might mean maybe they're doing functional skills maths and English. But yeah, so maybe we could talk a little bit about entry requirements.
Yeah, sure. So obviously our entry requirements are 5 4s or above. And ideally we would like that to obviously include English or maths, but if you do slightly miss out on English or maths, you have the ability and you have to resit while you're here doing your level 3 course. So we offer both maths resit classes and English resit classes. So around also doing your level 3 media course, you'd have to resit if you don't quite get the 4 maths or English. As I said, it's not our decision, sadly. It'll be the same at any college you'd apply to.
Lovely, thank you. And just to add to that, someone's asked if when they apply, do they have to send any work in? So previously, I guess similar to sort of the audition process that we do for performing arts, or?
Yeah, it's slightly different for media. So I was just going to touch on that. Ideally, we do kind of teach you on DSLR camera kit from scratch, so you don't have to have any previous experience with camera kit or filming, but we'd still like you, when you come for interview, to ideally present us with what kind of work you've produced in the past, be it print media, be it video-based media, or even if it's podcast or audio-based media, just so I can get an idea of kind of what skill set you have and where you're at. And another question we had was requirements, I think, for the media course. We asked that if you're joining level 3 media, you have a class 10 SD card, which means you can use our camera kit to film and record your footage, and a hard drive, ideally 500 gigabytes, so that you can store all your own work on your hard drive. for the 2 years of the course. So just an SD card and a hard drive. You don't need camera kit, we provide that, and you don't need software, we provide that as well.
Lovely, thank you. So someone's asked, can I do acting and musical theatre alongside each other? Obviously, generally no, but the courses are very collaborative, aren't they? So I don't know if anyone wants to expand on that at all.
Okay, I'll answer really quickly. As I said before, I don't know if the person was online. We do, it's a third of each. So on the musical theatre course, obviously performance, whether you're a musical theatre performer or a straight actor, obviously acting is the basis to all our performances. So you will do a project. So for example, this term, first term, it's physical theatre. Next term, it will be naturalism. Obviously, with solo singing, ensemble singing, studying any repertoire, it's going to be acting, but you will have two specific acting only, like non-singing acting projects, and then obviously running alongside that, or further down the year, you'll have the panto and the musical theatre, the full-scale musical as well. You can't do the two courses together, but it's very much acting is combined within the musical theatre course.
Lovely, thank you. Kat or Jade, someone's asked what live performance opportunities are there with the level 3 dance course?
Well, we do performances at the end of each project. So each year you'll do 1, 2, 3 projects, and we do a live performance in the theatre with each of them. Also other opportunities normally to do additional things. So we get involved with Dance For's Mass Movement, which is performed at the Curve. We go there. We also make films, so often we'll work with media to make some dance films. So there's quite a lot of performance, and there's more bits and bobs that you can get involved with if you want to. So kind of at minimum 3 a year, but do a lot more if you want to.
Lovely, thank you. Let's have a look. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Someone has asked, do they need previous experience in performing for the acting or musical theatre courses?
Okay.
Do you want to go, Pete?
I'll go if you want. So ideally, yes, to have some sort of experience. For quite a few students, it will be that they've studied it at level 2, such as GCSE or like a BTEC level 2 qualification. Not all places offer that, and so if you've got experience doing school plays or amateur dramatics or clubs outside of school in different disciplines, then that would also be good. It's quite rare for someone to have had no experience to come onto the course. I'd say that's very rare. I mean, I believe that people can still apply, and sometimes people might have a real sort of talent that can come through, which they've not had a chance to sort of explore before. But I'd say in general, I think it's fair to say that some sort of experience, doesn't have to be qualifications, but some sort of experience in one of the disciplines, I would say, is needed.
Lovely, thank you. Well, I've got you a couple of acting questions that have come through. So someone's asked about careers. So what kind of careers could the acting course lead on to?
Okay, so well, the obvious one, of course, is that to go into acting, and that could be in the theatre or television or film. But there are other things that you can do as well. So we have some students who come through interested in directing, and they sort of take up that sort of focus during the course and may go on to pursue that even more sort of challenging role of directing. While they're doing the course, it's the same with the different courses, you also study sort of backstage production elements as well. So that could be a possible pathway if that's an interest that somebody wanted to pursue as well. Presenter is another one that you could look at, because obviously the acting skills are very similar to presenting for the screen. And then there's education. So you could look at being a teacher of performing arts or lecturer in performing arts. There's also arts administration, which is something you learn during the course. So there's lots of jobs within the sort of creative industries that you could also develop skills and go on to do. A lot of our students, some go straight into the industry. It's quite unusual, but it is possible. But a lot of students will go to drama school or university. And again, there's an opportunity there for individuals to sort of focus on a particular pathway heading for a career at the end.
Lovely, thank you. Continuing with the careers theme, someone's actually asked about how students are prepared for a career in dance. So, for example, do they get work experience opportunities and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, like we said, there's so many performance opportunities on the dance course anyway. So yes, like Peter said earlier, that you could go straight into the industry. You could go and audition, maybe on a holiday park or for a company or an apprenticeship. But yeah, there's lots and lots of different opportunities and career sort of aspirations. Lots of people maybe go into arts management or sort of fashion or, like we say, backstage. But it could be that actually once you've completed your level 3, you have that qualification, you have that sort of UCAS points and that sort of grounding, and you might decide that you want to go into a different kind of career path. But as long as you've got that qualification and you've enjoyed it and you've achieved, you can take that and sort of go anywhere that you want it to, really.
The other thing is that on whether you're on dance, musical theatre or acting, in your second year you take part in a unit called Preparing for Progression, and this unit helps you to get focused on what it is that you want to do. So you may be working on monologues or solo singing or solo choreography, as well as looking at UCAS and other forms of applications, and you do lots of research to kind of make sure you know the pathway that you want to go. So if you're not sure but you know you really like dance, there's a lot, like Jade was saying, there's lots of different careers that you could look at, and you can transfer skills that you learn with us, and hopefully unit 10 kind of gives you that opportunity to research and look into those areas that you might want to kind of go forward into.
Lovely, thank you. Again, kind of on the theme of work experience, George has asked, can these subjects secure or help you to secure work experience, for an example, as an assistant to a studio creative team? So don't know if any of our students have done that in the past, or if there's time to maybe do work experience outside of the course.
I mean, I don't think it can hurt. I think if you're interested in doing that sort of thing, you need to apply to companies and studios and find out if they want work experience people, kind of support what they're doing. And I think if you're on a course, whether it be media or performing arts, that's only going to benefit you. So I would say it's probably a good thing.
I mean, it's also worth adding that at the college, we have a sort of professional theatre, the Melton Theatre. So when they do their performances, they're in a sort of fully professional environment, and there could be opportunities there if students wanted to find out more about some of the professional elements as well, sort of backstage and things of how a theatre functions. So because we're connected to this sort of professional venue, there are sort of opportunities and sort of real experiences there.
Lovely, thank you. Again, we're kind of in this kind of theme of careers. Someone's asked if they do media, can they go into photography and sort of create a career in that area?
Yeah, so actually one of my second years at the moment is planning to go on to university to do photography. We do focus more on film, TV advertising and product videography. It is more videography and film based, but you're still learning how to work the manual controls of a DSLR camera. And if photography is something you're very interested in, it's certainly something you can do alongside the course. And if you're interested in kind of going into the pathway of more kind of still image, it's certainly something that you can kind of, let's say, tailor your university application to, or potentially do freelance work or work experience on around the course. So certainly it has parallels with doing photography as well.
Lovely, thank you. Again, a media career question. Someone's asked, will they get advice while they're doing the media course if they don't know what they want to be afterwards? I guess that applies to all of the courses, really.
Yeah, I think so. And all of the courses, I think, give you kind of a broad range of skills across different elements. Because when you're 16, 17, 18, you don't necessarily know exactly what you want to do. So that's why we try and do things like film, we try and do TV advertisements and products, videography, we try and also do music video. We try and give you a broad range of skills so that come the end of college, if you're not quite sure what you want to do next, hopefully you've got a bit more of an idea of what's the next step you want to take, and if there's a more specific area of the industry that you then want to go into. I'm sure that's the same for acting and dance and musical theatre as well.
Lovely, thank you. Sorry, just another quick one on media since you're on the screen. Someone's asked, do they have to do work experience as part of the course, and how much would they need to get?
At the moment, it's not part of the UAL course, but it's something we strongly encourage. And in terms of the assignment work that you're required to do for the course, it's something that will definitely help you if you can secure something where you can either do promotional videos for a local business that you know. One of the units we run in the first year documentary, if there's a business or a client or somebody you've got contact with, that you can produce kind of a short mini documentary about their business and what they do, that also helps. So basically you don't have to have it, but the course is slightly easier if you've got contacts and people you can produce content for.
Lovely, thank you. George again is asking a question. He's asked, would they need to download any kind of software on their devices for media? So for example, editing software.
They don't have to, no. It's optional if they want to buy and have stuff working at home, but we have Mac suites at the college, and we have software that is installed on those Mac suites, so you don't have to have anything at home if you don't necessarily have the ability to either pay for your home license or have the equipment at home to download software, so you don't require it.
Great, thank you. So next question, do we have any links within the dance industry that supports students?
Well, yeah, we have lots of ex-students who've gone on to perform in various shows and set up companies and work with different companies, and we really are keen to kind of keep those links. We also have other companies that come in and do work for us, which is always really good. And in terms of like performing, we like to go out to events. So things like Mass Movement, working with Dance 4 and One Dance UK, you get kind of exposed to people there, and you can kind of network, meet other people at other colleges. It's always really nice to see how different all the colleges across Leicestershire are and what they offer. So kind of lots of different links. I guess really, Jade, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, both Kat and I, keep up to date with the industry and the people that we're connected with, and any sort of audition notices or kind of announcements, or student ambassador kind of Dance UK again sort of offer those sort of student ambassador opportunities. So whatever we kind of get coming to us, we then kind of disseminate out to other people. So there's lots of links and things that you could get involved with outside of the course as well.
Lovely, thank you very much. All right, let's have a look. Someone's asked how many hours per week would they be in college for acting?
Okay, hi. So you're in sort of 3 to 4 days. It's usually 4 days. You're not in sessions all of the time. But it's usually sort of a 4-day week for acting. However, with projects that we start working on, students then start rehearsing in groups in their sort of independent time as well. So as we get closer to performance assessments, and particularly productions in the Melton Theatre, it can start to really fill up your whole day. Of course, the performances go into the evening, and sometimes as well, like an additional day may be used in sort of production week. But in general, it's sort of, I'd say 4 days usually.
Great, thank you. We've had a question that kind of applies to everyone, so if we can cover it for all the subjects. Are these subjects primarily written exam based, in terms of how they're assessed, or are they very practical?
Okay. Yeah, so with the because it's the same exam board behind all of the qualifications here, so it's the same in that it's a very practical focus, but there is written assessments attached to each of them, but they're not written exams. So it's coursework based, where you do research, write up about your sort of rehearsal process, character development in acting. So yes, there's written work, and it's important, you know, that written work, but it's not exam based, and it's very much connected in most instances with the practical work you're doing. So if you're, you know, really developing strong practical work, you've got lots to write about in your written work, making your written work strong as well.
Lovely. I think that's all we've got time for today, actually. It's gone really fast. If we haven't got around to your questions, I'm really sorry, but what I'll do is I'll pop a link, I'll pop an email address in the chat, so that if you have any further questions at all, please get in touch with our course inquiries team today, and they'll pass any queries on to the team so they can get back to you next week. We do hope you enjoy the rest of the virtual open day and you get a lot out of the resources that we've provided for you. And thank you to everyone for joining us from our performing arts and media teams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.